of this webinar is essentially going to be demo style. I have no slides, so I'm going to do demo and conversation, and that's why I definitely encourage you to jump in with your comments and questions. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see the NCUOne homepage. If you can't, let me know in the chat or elsewhere. Good, I'm not seeing any negatives, so I'm thinking we're good. You can see it. So the first thing that often comes up with Kaltura is we use the term Kaltura, use Kaltura, but the link to get there does not say Kaltura. So that is the first thing I will say if you're brand new to the tool. The way to get there is actually through the My Media link from your NCUOne homepage. So that's how you get there. And so you know, I have both students and faculty on the line on the webinar today, and that's totally fine. The views are actually identical, and the way the tool works is identical whether you're a faculty or student. So this is really good. If you're a faculty and you feel comfortable with the tool, you can definitely help students with it as well, and vice versa. Maybe a new faculty and a student who's done a few presentations using Kaltura. So when you click into My Media, this is where you see all your videos that you've already created. Or none if you're brand new to the tool. So this is all the videos that I have already created, and we will get into how to edit and manipulate those in just a moment. But most of the time you're brand new to this tool, you're trying to submit an assignment or do your welcome video, whatever it may be, and you're like, how do I do this? Where do I start? And you start with the Add New button. And so when you click on this button, you see a few options here. Video quiz, right now, disregard. It is a feature in there. If you are technically inclined, you're welcome to play with it, but right now it's not something we use at NCU in our courses or anything. But there's two options. There's media upload and Kaltura capture. So if you are already a video making whiz and you have software on your computer that you like to use to create your own videos, that is absolutely fine. You can just upload any videos you've already done. So we get that question a lot. Oh, I have to use Kaltura. Well, no, if you have a software you already like, go ahead and use that. That's totally fine. That'll just put it in the library and allow you to use it and share it in NCUOne like you would a Kaltura video. But for most of us, we're probably new to the video world, and we want to go ahead and create a brand new video. We're going to do that with the Kaltura capture tool right here. So we click on that. All right, I just want to make sure I haven't got any questions yet. No, looks like everyone's good. Now, a couple of things here. The first time that you come in here, you will need to download the Kaltura to your desktop, Kaltura capture. So you'll see here these couple of links, Windows and Mac. Just click on that, follow the prompts, and download it to your computer. So the actual Kaltura capture tool is actually downloaded to your computer and is desktop based. It's not cloud based. So just something to think about, because sometimes when internet connections are problematic, sometimes we see some problems with uploading videos. So I'm just mentioning that now so we can sort of understand how the system works. But I have already downloaded it to my computer. So when you've done that, you should get a little prompt to open it right here. And if you want it to stop prompting you every time and just open automatically, you can check this box. Now, I don't check that box. And the reason being, if you don't, I find it just keeps opening up even when I don't really want it to keep opening up. Like sort of being in NCUOne triggers it to open up. So I just don't mind doing this extra click now so I don't have to keep closing it out. I don't need it, but whatever works best for you. Maybe your computer plays nicer than mine. All right, go ahead and open it. Okay. So a couple of things are going to happen when you open it up, depending on what you were last doing in the tool. So I've already been doing some video work in here. So it's actually gone to my desktop video library. So this is my Kaltura capture on my desktop, not my media library. So just to clarify, that's different. So if it looks like this, you're going to go ahead and click new recording. Now, if the last time you were in here, you weren't already in that library, this little, I don't know what to call it, a little control panel will automatically pop up. So one or the other. So, but if you're going to record a video, this is where you want to get to. Any questions thus far? I hope everything's clear and we're sort of following along. Because now we're getting to the fun stuff where we get to start recording some videos. Kaltura Capture can capture 3 different components of any one video. So it can capture your audio. So when it's blue like this, it means it's on. If it's like that, it means it's off. So I had a poor person the other day who recorded a whole video and didn't realize that their audio was off. So it was just 20 minutes of them. So I felt so bad for them, but once it's recorded, you can't go back. So this stage is very important. Take the time to get your setup right, maybe do a little test run, and then do your full recording, especially if you're doing anything long, like a full presentation or anything. So blue on, grayed out and across means not on. So we've got it on here. This little ditty here, this little caret is the technical term. If you have more than one option for capturing audio, that's where you can pick it. So you might have your computer microphone, then maybe you've plugged in a microphone and you wanted to use that. But generally for audio, it's probably just gonna be the one option, the one on your computer. All right. Now, the other option is webcam. So when it says camera, it means your webcam. So that is the camera either embedded in your computer on top of the screen, or maybe you have a standalone webcam that you've got stuck up on the top of your computer. So again, that would be off, this would be on. And again, if you have multiple sources, you can choose it here from the webcam. Now, it's not gonna let me right now do my webcam because I'm already using it for the Zoom webinar. So we'll go ahead and turn that off since we know we can't do that. And then the final component is your actual computer screen. So again, this is one where people kind of get mixed up with screen and camera. So screen would be exactly what's on your screen. So if you're wanting to present a PowerPoint, this is where you would want to make sure this is on and sharing the right screen. So you can see right here, it's sharing my other monitor, which is why it looks so silly. I'm going to go ahead and change it to my other monitor. So I have 2 monitors. So you can see an example of swapping over. So now we just have the sort of a monitor within a monitor. So I hope it's not getting too meta for you. Okay. So that is the setup. So take your time, think about what am I doing right now? What do I want to show my audience? And get that all set up and ready to go. Any questions on that component? I see none. Okay. All right. So now's the exciting part. You get to do your video. Like I said, get everything set up in advance. Have a little practice run through before you do it. Lighting, especially if you're using your webcam, make sure your lighting looks good and you're not looking like you're in witness protection or ultra bright. You know, sometimes it can be hard, especially with webcam cameras, to get it to look, you know, necessarily perfect, but play around a little bit and get sort of the best for your scenario. And then when you are ready to go, you click the little start recording. Gives you a little countdown, which is nice. And then boom, it's recording. And you have this little ticker clock down here so you can see how long you've been recording. So right now, remember we chose my voice, my audio. It's recording me talking right now, and it's recording my screen here. So this little screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and click back into my media so we can see some action when we actually make the video. So it's recording my actions now. Now, if I had a PowerPoint and I was clicking through that, that's what it would be recording. Okay. And then when you're all done, you can hit stop. It's going to check that you want to stop it. I think I am ready to stop. Okay. And then it puts it into your library that is on your desktop. So here's an important point. So first of all, I'm going to rename it because it's just going to give you a generic recording title. What we recommend is to do your last name, first initial, and then the course code, or if it's not a course code, just what it is. So just pretend we're doing an MBA course. And then if it is an assignment for our students on here, you can put, you know, week 3 assignment, something like that. But I just recommend with any document naming convention to make it something that when you see it again, you remember what it is. Because I know I've been searching for documents in the past. I'm like, why on earth did I name it that? You can add description, you can add tags. Generally, that's not going to be something you need unless it's going to be going somewhere where you want it to be searchable with tags. But you can add a description for your own sanity as well when it comes back to searching for those videos. All right, so before I show you how to upload to the library, I see I have a question in the Q&A. Question about captioning, if you have to enable it. Good news is captioning is automatic. So as long as you don't mess with anything, it should be absolutely fine and auto-generated. The only disclaimer I will say is that it takes a little while. So it's not automatic. It essentially has to run and those captions to come back before you can view them. Good question. So we want to make sure all our videos are accessible. Okay. And question about, can we edit the captions? Absolutely, yes. Again, going back to accessibility, we want to make sure there are captions and that those captions are accurate. And I will show you how to do that in just a little bit. Okay, so we have our video. Everything looks good. And now we're ready to upload into our actual My Media library in NCUOne. Now, this is where sometimes glitches can occur because obviously it's uploading it into the cloud or the web. And if your internet goes out halfway through or if the connection is wonky, it may not go through properly. So just note, at any time you can come back and redo it, but I just wanted to mention that in case you're troubleshooting if something didn't quite go as planned. But generally, as long as everything's okay with your internet, it should go just fine. So you click on save and upload. And again, this step is really important. Sometimes people don't realize, like, why can't I find it? It's like you never actually uploaded into the My Media library. Word of warning, depending on day, time, internet connection, how long it takes to upload can really vary. I did something about an hour ago, just preparing for this webinar, and it was really quick, you know, sort of matter of minutes, but then there's other times where it's taken much longer, probably what I would call high traffic homework times. So if you have an assignment like this, this is one maybe to not burn the midnight oil on that Sunday night, try to get it done a little early to give yourself plenty of time. And then you're not having to panic and worry. That's more the thing. I mean, it eventually will work and you'll get it in there, but nice to not have to stress about it, I think. Okay, just want to make sure I'm addressing everyone's questions. Let me check the chat. Question about speed controls. I don't believe, no. It's Kaltura is definitely designed for your everyday user. So it's very simple, which is good. But if you are more high tech, then it doesn't necessarily have all the features you might like. But it's, unless you're doing high quality videos, you know, instructional videos or something like that, this should be perfect for presentations, welcome videos, feedback videos, anything like that. That's a good question. Okay, so now I'm done with that recording. If you're making multiple, again, you can keep clicking and recording, but obviously for today, we're all done with that. Okay, I'm gonna cross that out. You can see it's now uploaded. because it's now giving me the option to re-upload versus uploading. Close that out. Okay, I'm going to refresh my page so I can see it. All right, there it is. The video I just uploaded is now in my media library. Technically, now ready to share. So if you don't want to mess with anything, it's ready to go. Technically at this point, of course, the captions haven't been edited, so you probably would want to go back and definitely do that at some point. But it is technically now ready to go. But I want to show you some of the features of the library where you can share and edit the video to some degree. It's, again, definitely for your everyday user, so it keeps it pretty basic, but enough for our needs here at NCU for our faculty and students. Okay, so pretty intuitive in the library here, and I'm actually going to go to this video here that I did earlier. This little pencil here, if you want to delete a video, by the way, out of your library, you can do this little trash can here. Something I'm going to tell you, because this funnily came up the other day, someone I was working with. When you delete it here, it gets out of your library, and that's good. It keeps your library clean. But the master library of all videos ever recorded at NCU, unless you actually have the permissions to go in there and delete it there, it stays forever. So, you know, I don't know what someone may record, but if you're trying doing something jokey or whatever, you may not want to upload it. But nothing online is truly gone forever. Okay. But anyway, on that note, little pencil is how you would edit your video. Okay. Here's the edit page. Let's see here. Big old face of mine right up there. And there's these tabs along the bottom here, which give you different options for the video. So there's the details page. So this is similar to what we already had seen on your desktop version of Kaltura Capture, but you can add descriptions, tags, do all that business if you want to. It auto adds tags based on your closed captions. So you can see it kind of went a little crazy here, added a lot. So I would probably go back and cross some of these out. I don't necessarily need, you know, someone searching content. It didn't make sense for this video. But anyway, you can just X these out if you want to get rid of these tags. So if you want to edit any of this, this is where you do it on the details tab where it defaults. The publish tab, it defaults to what you probably want it to be, which is private, which seems non-intuitive because you think private means no one's going to be able to see it. And that's actually not what that means. It means that it gives just you the permission to share your video. So if you are a student, it gives you the ability in your Dropbox to share that video with your faculty. Faculty can see it just fine. If you're a faculty, it gives you the permission to share your welcome video in your classroom. So you generally don't need to change this. Changing it to published and then choosing a location at NCUOne actually gives other people the ability to share your video. So you might actually occasionally see this and think, what's going on? Where you'll be in a course and you go to share your Kaltura video and you see some other random video from another student. And this is just someone that got confused, chose published, and then chose the course that you happen to be in, and basically gave everyone in that course the ability to share their video. So you're going to leave it in private is basically the short story on that one, because published gives other people the ability to share your video, which really you're not ever going to have a real scenario where you want to do that. But I wanted to explain what it meant. So you're not thinking, why is it that way? Okay. Under options, again, I think it defaults to exactly how we want it to be. The comments section, it's not really something you need to worry about because how we display our videos, we don't have a comments option anyway. So allowing or disabling comments is sort of a moot point. And then you generally don't want people to be taking clips of your video. So that's one of those tabs you can just pretty much disregard most of the time. Collaboration. So this is a fun one. If you're ever working with someone else, or you want someone else to be able to edit the same video as you. If there was ever a project or a research project you're doing with someone, who knows? This is where you can add additional people to collaborate on your media. So that means they get to go in their My Media library and like actually edit your videos versus just share it, which was the publish option. So pretty intuitive. You just click these buttons here if you ever want to do that. Thumbnails. So this one I think is really important, because no matter what happens, if you do a video with your webcam, it's always going to somehow capture the thumbnail for when the video is just still of you doing something silly like, so you're going to want to swap that out. Trust me. I don't know how it manages to do that. It's always like the most unflattering view, and then it finds it and makes that the thumbnail, and you can swap it out, which is really nice. You can actually search the whole video using the capture tool, just let you search the whole video for the most flattering view of your face. Auto generate is generally where I go. It pulls up, I think, a random 8 options throughout the video. There's usually one that looks somewhat okay. This is actually how I chose this thumbnail. Believe it or not, this was the best of all the different ones they auto generated. And if you want to, you can also upload a thumbnail if you want it to be like an actual title or something like that instead of your face or whatever the presentation is. But this is one of those fun things where, hey, you don't have to do it, but I think it adds a little bit of gloss to your video. Downloads. Really, this is just for your use, because again, with how we share our videos, other people can't download your Kaltura. But if you want to download it to have a copy on your computer, MP4 version, you need to make sure this box is checked, and then just hit save. All right, I know I'm whizzing along with lots of content, so I'm gonna make sure I stop and pause if anyone has a question. I think I see something in the chat. Okay. Sounds like someone's having some technical difficulties with Kaltura. So I will try my best to troubleshoot. So there's a couple of things that I've seen come up, just being looped into service desk. So it could, if it's something along here that I'm showing you and it's not working for you as a student or faculty, it could be a permissions issue, since we have slightly different roles. Now, if you can't get into the tool at all, sometimes it's your computer security settings that are not letting you in, but definitely ping me after the event and we can do a little recon and figure out what's going on with that. Okay, so here are the captions. As I mentioned, auto-generated, give it some time. Again, this is one of those things where high homework times, it tends to take a little longer. Just, you know, more people in here doing things, the longer it's going to take. But this, again, I did this about an hour ago and it seems to be, actually it probably has the time in here somewhere, but it's now here and ready to go. And you will notice that the captions are decent, but definitely off. I have a little bit of a accent. I'm originally from the UK, so sometimes reads my words really wrong. So you'll find if you have any sort of strong accent as well, that it may require a little bit more editing as well. But generally, no matter who you are, no matter how clear your diction is, you will want to edit those captions, because just for people that need them, it's really respectful to have them correct and without spelling errors. And it's, again, pretty intuitive how to edit them. Click on this little edit captions. And then you can see, here's the captions. So you can see right here, it says, hello, my name is Marco. And obviously my name is not Marco. It is Claire DeMarco. So I can see here is a culture instead of Kaltura, which I can, just hearing it myself say it, I can see why it called it as culture. So you can go through, just edit these as you go. It will play you as you go. You can play the little clips or remind yourself what you said, but usually if it's you, you know what you were saying. You can just fix those. And then when you're all done, just take that. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty quick to fix captions. I always thought it would take a really long time, but it doesn't actually take too long. So definitely well worth doing. It's back to that, you know, having that video with a little bit of gloss versus not so glossy when there's spelling errors and etc. in the closed captions. Okay. Attachments, you can disregard this tab. This is not something, again, that's available with how we use Kaltura. So you can just ignore that. The timeline feature, I am sort of with this tool. If it's something you like the sound of, you can do. You can add chapters into your video. So there's these little icons here. So say I wanted to have, you know, a chapter there. I click in my timeline, I want a second chapter there. And then I can name it. I could do a thumbnail if I wanted to, and that's all well and good, but really from a user's perspective, unless they use, there's a table of contents feature when you play the Kaltura video, they don't even see this. So it's sort of a lot of work, and I don't know how many people even use the feature. But if it's something, you know, you feel comfortable with and you want to play, you're welcome to do it. I've never used it for any of my videos, but I wanted you to know it's there, and you should be able to use this if you want. But again, you essentially click where you want a chapter to begin on the timeline. Oh, there we go. And then it lets you add a chapter, and then you can put all the information down here and save it. Okay. See any questions going on? No, I think we're good. Okay. Here is an option too. Say you have a video. This is probably more for our faculty on the line. Say you have a welcome video and you've got it in all 15 of your courses, and you realize, oh, you know, my partner is walking across the background halfway through. I never noticed that when I first put this video up. And you don't want to have to re-record a video and then go into every 15 places that you've shared it and swap it out. You can replace the media directly here, and then the links won't break. So really good option if you're posting things in multiple places. Not so much for students, because generally you're posting your assignment once and end of story. Okay, so those are those tabs. Possibly based on some feedback in the chat, maybe not all those features available to everyone in there, but what you have, you should definitely have the captions and the ability to edit those. That's really important. And the thumbnail option. Like I said, they always capture you like this. So, okay, making myself laugh here. I hope at least one or two of you are giggling. So let's talk a little bit about the editor tool. This is a totally optional, if you want to get fancy type of thing, you can use to, again, smooth out your video a little bit. So same place that we were before, where all these little tabs were, there's the editor tool. And you will see the quiz option here. Again, if that's something you want to play around with, you're absolutely welcome to, but it's not something we use. So I can't go over it with you today. I have poked around a little bit with it, but I'm not super competent with the tool. So what the editor lets you do, and this is where, as I was mentioning earlier, this is for your everyday video user. This is not high tech, you know, video editing for movies or anything like that. This is for our needs. You know, we're students, we're faculty, we're trying to spread messages, we're trying to do our presentations. We're not, that's not what we need for what our use case is. But this does let you do a couple of cool features. So say at the beginning of your video, you have a little bit of a stutter, or, you know, getting yourself going, you know, sometimes can take a little while, or more often what happens, I've noticed, is that you're looking somewhere else to get everything started and you're not looking at your webcam, and you want it to start with you looking right at your webcam. you can snip off the beginning of your video. So this timeline here, you can click anywhere, or I should say drag anywhere. And then if I click this little button here, it's going to delete that beginning of the video. So there we go, gone. Now gone, my awkward moving my head and all that business. Same with the end, same principle. You can drag that in and snip off the end. If it's usually that same thing, you're done with your video and then you're sort of working to click around and turn it off. So you can clip the ends. Now, if you are confident enough to do this, you can clip pieces out in the middle of the video. So a technique that I use if I'm ever doing a recording, either audio or webcam, is say I'm doing my script or doing my presentation, and then I do a major stumble, one that I don't want in the video. What I do is I always stop, count at least 3 to 5 seconds, so there's a big gap, and then I start again from like the beginning of that section, so not just right where I made the error. Then later on, what I can do is go and snip out that first attempt, and it's easy to find because I've got that blank piece of time where I'm not doing or saying anything. So if you feel confident to do that, you definitely practice, and once you get used to it, it's really easy to do. But say I had that type of error here, I would see it here. You remember I said I stop and I do nothing for like 3 to 5 seconds. I'd see the blue would be completely down the bottom here. There wouldn't be any sound. But I'll show you how to clip inside. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Okay, so here we go. So I'm like, I made a big error here. So I do my little split. That was the end of my error. And when I restart it again, do my little scissors, then make sure I'm clicked in this box, and then I can just delete. Ta-da! Error gone. And then it automatically like puts it back together when it publishes. So that could be really nice, especially if you're doing those longer presentations or having to go back to the beginning again. Can fill you with dread. You can definitely snip in this tool. So we're going to go ahead and save when we're done. Takes a little while to save at this point. I think because you're making edits to a video file, it just takes a little longer. So while we're waiting for that to save, I'll see if we have any additional questions. I see none. Okay, good. Maybe we move over to another tab if this is going to take a really long time. Okay. While that's thinking, I want to show you a couple of other things in my media. A great question about the work that you're doing in the My Media library. Does that save it on your desktop? And it doesn't. So anything you do in the My Media is all web-based through your NCUOne. And the original file is what will be still in your Kaltura capture tool. The unedited, the raw data, if you will, the raw file is what's going to be on your desktop version. So I work pretty much exclusively out of my media. I record using Kaltura capture, I upload right away, and then I'm just done with my desktop version. And I find that works the best than trying to fiddle between the two. Okay. All right, so we clicked on the little pencil before. I also want to show you what happens when you click on the actual video link itself. Oh, that one's not going to have the option, sorry. Another tip, since this has just happened to me, sometimes in Kaltura and My Media, it's easy to get lost. So I often, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go right back to the beginning. I click on My Media on my navigation bar, and then it gets me back to where I want to be. But I want to show you the share option, so I needed this video. Okay. Okay, so a couple of things when you click here. You can also get to the edit screen here under Actions. But I had mentioned the download option, which I think that was the one that maybe you guys were struggling to do. But if it does work for you, this is where you're able to download a version. Now, 99% of the time, you are going to be sharing your Kaltura videos in NCUOne through the NCUOne integration. So this is very rare that you're going to need to go and grab a link, but I want to show you because this does come up and it's tricky to do. So a couple of scenarios where I need to just grab a link to the video is obviously if I'm sending a video to anyone externally, which I've had to do a few times, or someone who doesn't have access to NCUOne, basically. So someone at the university who doesn't use this site. Also, if you want to share a video in the Commons, you also need to grab this link. So if you're a Commons user, you'll need this. So when you click on share, it gives you the embed code, which is all well and good if you're in a system that uses the embed code, but the Commons doesn't. And if you just want to send someone a link, the embed code is not very helpful. But the regular link, we'll call it, is part of the embed code. And the trick to find it is you have to look at all this code here. Let me stretch it out so we can see the whole thing. There's a lot. See, you don't want to email someone that. Is you look for this HTTPS, and that's the beginning of the link. So you're probably pretty familiar with that. And then you keep going until you find the first ampersand flash vars. Okay. Since I've been doing Kaltura, I've said that way more times than any normal person does, but from the HTTPS all the way up to that first ampersand flash vars, that is the link to the video. You can send that to anyone and they'll be able to view your video. And that is in our Kaltura documentation that we have in our Center for Teaching and Learning as well. So you don't have to put that to memory, just to know it's an option. Okay. So that's how you share a link. Now I'm going to show you how you're really probably going to be sharing your Kaltura videos. Now, NCUOne is awesome in that pretty much anywhere you are adding text in NCUOne, you have the ability to embed a Kaltura video. So faculty and students, probably different places that you're doing this. So students, you're going to be embedding your videos in Dropbox, right? When you go in and submit your assignment. Something to note with Dropbox. Dropbox will not let you just submit the text box with your Kaltura video embedded. It will require you to upload some kind of file. Now, some assignments include a written component, and that's great. That's the file you're uploading. But if it doesn't, you can obviously just do a title page. You could do the transcript of the video. You just got to upload basically some file to get it to upload. So that's a note I wanted to make sure you knew, students who are uploading to Dropbox. Faculty, you'll be using this obviously in your news announcements and if you're embedding any Kaltura videos and feedback. And then both for faculty and students, you can embed Kaltura videos in discussions. So anywhere you're doing a text editor, you can embed a Kaltura video, and I will show you how. Okay. So just for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to do a news announcement. This isn't something a student would do. Faculty can do this in their classroom, but what I really want to get to is just the text editor, which will be familiar to you all, no matter what your role is. So when you are submitting to Dropbox, you have a little box underneath where it gives you this option to add a note to your faculty. And this is where you'll be embedding your Kaltura video. So make sure we've got no questions. This is where it gets a little tricky. So if you looked here right now, you would think, how on earth do I embed my Kaltura video? It's not the most intuitive, but this little button over here on the left, which I love because it's called the insert stuff button. And I just love that that's what they came up with. The D2L developers, like, you know what works here? Oh, insert stuff, because it's just a random bunch of stuff that you can insert into your text right here. So I click on that. And again, you click here and you think, no option. It is. You just have to scroll down. Don't forget to scroll down. And then there it is, right at the end of the list, insert Kaltura. Okay. And this is where it links to your library. So you pick whichever video you want to insert. Give it a little bit of time to think, but there you can see, now it's there. So I click insert. And then boom, Robert's your father's brother. It's right there, embedded into the text. So as soon, if you're a student, as soon as your faculty opens your Dropbox assignment for the week, they see it right there front and center, they just hit play to watch it. Same for faculty. If you put this in news, you put this in Dropbox feedback, students see this right away versus, you know, attaching a video file, which is fine. It's much nicer to embed it. Something I will mention, because even though this is yay Kaltura, sometimes you might not want to do a whole song and dance Kaltura video. Maybe you just want a quick note to student to faculty, faculty to student, whatever it may be. And there is also an option in insert stuff. Where did it go? To add a video note. It's not giving me the option to do it here. I'm thinking because I'm on the main homepage, but there's an option to just do a quick video note, and you can also do a quick video that way, but there's no editing on that. That's for raw, just quick notes. But I think because of where I am, it's not giving me the option. But right here, just above video note search, it just says video note. But I just wanted to mention that as a side point, because sometimes it's not appropriate to go into Kaltura, do a whole video, you know, do the editing. Sometimes it's just, hey, I wanted to tell you, I really enjoyed doing this assignment, you know, whatever it may be. And then once you upload to Dropbox or publish your news announcement, whatever, it will then share, but I'm obviously not going to do it right now, or everyone in NCUOne would see my lovely video. Just going to cancel that out. Okay, I see it. Okay, so we have a question. Each time I attempt to embed, the actual video is accompanied by a small box in the lower right-hand corner. Does it look like this, I'm guessing, Brenda? So I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So a question I get a lot is, hey, I did a video. It was me presenting a PowerPoint. You know, that's a pretty common assignment. Or a faculty saying, hey, this is me talking to my student, you know, going over their paper. And they want the paper or the PowerPoint to be the big and their little camera to be the little square. Now, there is no, I have tried everything to try to make it default to the way I want it to, recording things in different order, you know, clicking on buttons in different ways. And it seems to be sort of random which one is the main screen. But it's because it's actually part of the player. When the person plays it, is they can just toggle between the two. So if someone says, hey, I can't read the presentation, your head's so big, just say, hey, there's two little arrows at the top of the Kaltura player that allows you to change it so that your little head is smaller. Now, that goes back to Brenda's question, is why is there a little box in the right-hand corner? My guess is maybe you are recording your webcam and don't realize it. So when you pull up the Kaltura capture, make sure if you're just recording your voice and your PowerPoint presentation or your screen, whatever it is, make sure the webcam is grayed with the X out. Because the only time I've ever seen like this little box is when you're recording two things, both your screen and your camera, or multiple screens, but I don't think you'd be doing that. But I could definitely take a look if you can't sort of figure that out on your own. But that would be my guess. So make sure when you're setting up the recorder right at the beginning with that little player, again, that everything's off that needs to be off, on that needs to be on, and then also double check with the little drop downs that you're recording the right thing that you want to record. Maybe it's doing a dual screen for you by mistake. Good question though. Okay. There was one thing that I forgot to show you that I want to make sure I show you, because this comes up a lot in assignment instructions, is that they require a copy of the transcript to be submitted. And I want to show you how to grab that. Okay. So if you go into any video, And then this little button here, which is very easy to miss, will let you download the transcript. Downloads it into a TXT file, so you'll need to copy and paste it into Word. But that is how you can get your transcript. You want to do that after you fix your captions, or your transcript will be all funky too. All right. Okay, well, that was it for my presentation. So I want to make sure I have addressed all the questions. So please do let me know if there's anything else lingering. When it comes to Kaltura troubleshooting, sometimes it can be hard to determine, is it just that I don't know how to do this versus is it a technical issue? So it is totally fine. Service desk can help and us in the CTL can help. And if it should go the other way, that's fine. We are more than happy to pass you over to the correct group. What is most important though, is that you reach out as soon as you come across any issues while you're trying to do your assignments or videos, because the last thing we want is people spending, hours trying to figure it out. And that's so frustrating when it might be something we can troubleshoot right away for you. So don't be afraid to reach out. Service desk, I'm a big believer in calling service desk. I know they have an email and you can get their number anytime under the support link in NCUOne. I just find if you call, you get resolution right away versus an email. You go in a queue. So I recommend calling them, but we are now, fortunately, we don't have a big enough team to be fully staffed, but you can email us at ctl@ncu.edu and we're happy to help as well. Because sometimes computers can be a bit quirky. The big thing that seems to cause issues with Kaltura are security settings, those type of things, because it is a third-party service or system. If you have your security settings really high, it will block Kaltura from coming up. It will block your camera. So sometimes if you get errors about camera issues, it's usually because your security settings are not letting it talk to your camera on your computer. Those type of things definitely Service Desk can help you with, just because they know all the different types of computers. If it's my computer, I could probably figure it out, but come to me with your Mac, forget it. So that is generally where I see the most issues. Another common issue, which is kind of interesting, I mean, it's sort of the oldest trick in the book, is for some reason, mine will just decide it doesn't want to open up for me. My Kaltura capture, I log into my media and that pop-up just stops coming up. And I think, well, that's weird. But you know what? I do the turn it off and on again trick. I uninstall it. It takes minutes, really quick. I uninstall it from my computer. I reinstall it and boom, it's working again. And I use it quite a bit. So you may never even come across that. But it's something that's happened to me. And like I said, I've given the feedback to Kaltura. They know about it. But for now, uninstall, reinstall, off and on again. If it works, great. Okay, so it looks like we have some people that have used their have recorded their videos externally outside of Kaltura Capture. That's totally fine. And putting it to my media rather than putting that directly into news is much better. And I completely agree. If you're going to be sharing any videos, you absolutely want them in your My Media library and then sharing it as a Kaltura media rather than trying to attach it or embed it other ways or put it in YouTube or anything like that. This is the tool to use for sharing videos, whether you're a student or faculty. Yeah, thanks for sharing. All right. I think I got all the questions. Let me double check the chat. All right. Okay, so yep, someone asked about, I've already done a video, can I upload it to Kaltura, My Media? Yep, absolutely. I'll just review that again. When you click in My Media, give you a little My Media library. If you click on Add New, it lets you do a media upload. So either option works, but definitely do that because the embed option, I just think it looks so much nicer to have it embedded in the text for people to just click and play versus having to open a file or something like that. Okay, so as I mentioned, our Centers for Teaching and Learning have Kaltura guides in there. They pretty much cover most of what I went over in this webinar, so definitely check those out. But you're also welcome to reach out if you need to review the steps or you're having any issues. But get in there, play around with the tool. You know, I don't think I'm anything special. Not that I'm a genius in Kaltura, but I just have played with it, and the comfort level for me is just huge. And just doing those first few videos, just fun, fake little test videos, playing around. And now I feel really confident when I have to do real videos that I am going to be sharing with others. And that also is for confidence with things like just speaking, you know, on camera. That could be really daunting at first. But it's just so effective to do a video over text sometimes. And once you're used to seeing your face, you kind of get over it and have a little bit of fun with it. Stop worrying about how you look, you know. Just be authentic and your videos will be great. But unless there are any other questions, I will let you get back to your busy days. And it was great to see you all. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you at the next one.